Hey, this is Jesse from MIKESCHAIR, and this is a story of a beautiful life.
George and I met at Stephen F. Austin State University in Nacogdoches, Texas. We married at the end of our junior year, and when we graduated in December of '80, I was 4.5 months pregnant with our first son, Jacob. Jacob was always the one who would get on his bike and just ride all over town. He was very independent. He really began to own his faith. Started reading the Bible on his own and praying and sharing Christ with his friends. It was very exciting to me because with his strong will and his adventuresome spirit, I was so encouraged to see the hand of God on him. So I think I just had a lot of hope that he was going to do something great. It was the last day of school. Jacob was in the 9th grade and his class wasn't having a party, they were just having a free day. And he ended up going canoeing and nobody saw what happened. There were 6 chaperones present, all of them very responsible, on top of all the students, but at some point Jacob and another student decided they were going to swim out to these bridge pilings. There's a 14-foot drop-off at the end of that boat ramp, and apparently the young man who couldn't swim stepped off and panicked, and either Jacob tried to help him or he grabbed Jacob in his panic, but one way or another both of them went down. Nobody knows exactly how much time passed, but they couldn't find Jacob or Jeremy. One of the chaperones on the trip, the way he described it, he just had an impulse to dive, and he pulled off his shirt, dove into the water, and just started feeling along the bottom of the lake, and he felt a body there, so he pulled that body up, and that was Jacob. They did CPR for 20 minutes. Went to the telephone to call my husband, was trying to tell him Jacob was dead, and somebody ran up and said Jacob was breathing. They told us at first because he'd been under at least 10 minutes, and then it was 20 minutes of CPR. The brain injury experts said, well, if he survives this, which they didn't think he would, he'll never wake up. And they even at one point said, the kind thing to do would be just to remove his feeding tube and let him die. You feel like, okay, God, you were the one that could have stopped this. You didn't stop this, but we can't get through this without you. So you're leaning all of your weight on the only one who could have prevented you from having to do this. And just got down on my knees on the floor and really didn't even know what to pray. I think all I prayed was, what are we going to do? And that's when the tears came. I felt like God, this quiet whisper, spoke that to me. I am doing something beautiful. I want you to see it. Keep your eyes open. It was very gradual because of the way coma is. Sometimes you're not sure. Like you're not sure, is that movement voluntary or involuntary? So it's not cut and dried. It's not like he's lying there asleep and suddenly, squeezes your hand, because he would move, and it seemed like he was making voluntary movement and that he was making a voluntary, trying to do a thumbs up in an answer to a question. And this was one of the earliest moments of real hope. In fact, the main doctor that took care of him, the one who told us, that had our initial consultation and told us that there was no hope, she never tells anybody that anymore. She tells us that whenever she speaks to families, she tells them the medical facts, and then she says, but we don't have the final say. People were coming into the life of this boy who could do nothing but lie there, and they were walking away changed by God. When he came out of the coma, his faith was just radiant. Ever since, like I said, it's been 15 years, he just has this amazing connection to the Lord. When he worships, there's no mask. You look at him and you think, wherever he is, that's where I want to go. Lord, I just need to know this is your plan. This is what you want for him. That this wasn't a mistake. I just felt like the Lord said, well, look at him. Everyone who sees him is drawn to me. He's my faithful servant. So yeah, he is. He's a beautiful life.
As you listen to this album, we pray that you find yourself worshiping
at the feet of the only one who makes us worthy. We hope it challenges you to see
that even in your brokenness, he sees
a beautiful life.